So we will go ahead and start off laying on our backs. We're going to settle into our mat here with knees bent, feet flat on your mat. Taking a moment to just kind of be aware of how your body is oriented on your mat. Starting some nice deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Kind of do a little scan of your body, seeing how your feet feel, seeing how that low back feels. If it feels like maybe one side is more in contact with your mat than the other, notice that your low back is not so much in contact with your mat. And then see how your ribs feel against it. Maybe noticing if one side feels like a little bit more pressure than the other. And asking yourself what part of your head is in contact with the mat. And just being aware of all these pressure areas, all these areas of contact. Shifting your focus back to your breath and really starting to exaggerate that exhale. So exhaling and audibly hearing your breath. And trying to continue that type of breathing throughout the whole class. Exhaling and drawing your rib cage together and down. Almost like you're lacing everything up in towards the midline. Your hands can be on your belly or on your chest. And again, hands are observing what's going on. As you're breathing, noticing where your breath is coming from, if it's coming from your belly or more from your ribs. As you exhale, noticing what's happening underneath your hands. And on this next one, as you exhale, I want you to hold just a gentle activation in your core, feeling underneath your hands that it is just kicking on here, almost kind of locking in, and then continuing that normal breathing. So appreciating that we can hold this sensation here with rib cage tucked down a little bit, and that we can still breathe normally. Thinking about how we can transfer this into our daily life, even when we're sitting at our desk, seeing if we can just have that really gentle sense of our belly button pulling in and still being able to do everything that we need to do. From here, go ahead and keep that activation in your center and just relax your hands down by your sides. We're going to start some just really slow marches here. So hovering our right foot off of the mat. And then gently placing it back down. Your feet are light on your mat like they're hovering on clouds or on eggshells. And we're alternating this march, trying to think about the work coming more from your lower abdominals than from your legs and your hip flexors. On the next one, starting to bring your march up a little bit higher so that maybe your knee floats into tabletop. Continuing the focus on the breath. Last one on each side. On the last one, hold one leg at tabletop. And then taking your opposite arm and placing it right on your knee. We're going to exhale and just a gentle pressure in towards the center. So hand presses down, knee gently pulls up, And just hold that and breathe. Noticing now kind of a diagonal connection coming between the bottom of one rib cage and the top of the opposite hip. Good. And then slowly relaxing that down, switching sides, opposite hand to opposite knee. Exhale, a giant, tiny little pressure down. If you push or pull too hard, you'll notice your hip flexor really kicking in here. Maybe lighten your pressure to keep the work more in your center. Noticing, again, this diagonal crossing sensation. And breathing normally. Lower back down. Switching sides again. Exhale, gentle pressure in towards the middle. This time we're going to add a little reach here. So exhaling, pushing down. Inhaling, reaching arm and leg long away from the center of the body. And then exhale, close back together. Gentle pressure in towards the middle. Inhale, open, lengthen. Opposite foot still light on your mat. Exhale, close. Last one like that. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, close. Good. Relax that side down. Switching again. Opposite arm to opposite leg. Gentle pressure down. And really being aware that nothing changes in your core, in your back as you inhale and reach long. Exhale. In towards the middle. Gentle press down and in. Kind of lock yourself in. And then reach. Keep that position. Exhale, center. Last one here. Opening, lengthening away from the center of your body. And exhale, close back. Good. Relax that foot down. We're going to set up for a couple sets of some bridges here. Arms relaxing down by your side. Inhaling through the nose. Starting with just maybe a little tilt of the pelvis, so tailbone starts to lift. Draw those lower abs in and down, and then lower back down. And really being aware of activating those low abs during this, so making it not just a bridge, not just a work for the glutes and the hamstrings, but seeing how we can get this part of our body more involved, making our bridge more efficient. On the next one, starting to lift up a little bit higher each time, with each vertebrae peeling off of your mat. It should be almost a sensation that you are pushing down to lift up. On this next one, lifting up about halfway here. No pressure or tension in the neck. Maybe look from right to left to make sure everything there is nice and relaxed. Good. Head back to the center. And then from here, we're going to tap both toes up towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, toes come down, heels lifting, both at the same time. Tapping heels. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring heels back down. Slowly lower those hips. Tailbone is the last thing to touch. Again, lifting up halfway. Exhale, tailbone first. Peeling. Pausing halfway in between again. Relaxing through the arms, the neck, and the head. And then from here, we're going to take a nice little march of the feet, shifting your weight into one side, maybe just hovering the foot, maybe lifting it up a little bit higher, alternating sides. Trying our best to keep the hips level, maybe hands come to the front of the hips. Last Last one on each side. Both feet down, slowly lower the hips. And hug your knees into your chest. Taking a nice little release here, another push-pull move. Hands are going to pull in towards your chest while knees push away from your chest. You're going to feel a nice gentle opening through the low back. This one, it's not so much a work in the core, but it's just for a nice release. Go ahead and relax everything down. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, hands pull in while knees push away. Nothing moves, but maybe feeling just that sensation of lengthening. And relax down. Last one here, exhale, push, pull. And lower down. Legs are going to come back into tabletop here, knees directly over the hips. Making sure you can see your toes just above the knees. From here, we're going to exhale, push one leg to straight, lengthen it long, and then bring it back to tabletop, switching sides. Making sure, again, nothing changes, nothing moves as that leg pushes to straight. On this next one, bend both knees. We're going to connect heels together, toes apart, knees come a little bit wider. From here, exhale, push both legs to straight, and then bend back in. Thinking about zipping up all the way from your heels, through your inner thighs, through your pelvis, your core, your belly button, even your chest. As you exhale, everything draws in towards midline. You'll notice that I'm not lowering my legs down very far. So being aware of where your body needs to have your legs in order to make this controlled and stable. Last one. Perfect. Relax everything down. Hug those knees into your chest. From here, legs are going to reach straight up towards the ceiling and then bend them back down. Exhale, legs straight up. Seeing if you can push through and getting as straight as possible before you bend back down. On this last one here, hold as straight as you can. Again, heels are together, toes are apart. Think about squeezing the backs of the inner thighs together. We're going to make small circles here, going clockwise and then counterclockwise. Exhale at the bottom of your circle. If you do want to challenge it, feel free to make your circle a little bit bigger. We're going clockwise, pausing, and then counterclockwise. Last one to each side. Good, and take a break. Hug those knees in again. We're going to do one more set of bridges here. This one is a butterfly bridge. So what I like about this one is it does challenge our stability and it makes us have to use our core a little bit more. So what you're going to do is bring the soles of your feet together and knees wider so that you're really pushing through the outer edge of your foot, thinking about your heels pressing through the mat. Relaxing your arms down by your side. Exhale, lift the hips. This one, not as much of a focus on segmentally rolling through the spine, but still trying your best. You'll notice that your hips aren't able to get quite as far up. You might also notice some gentle rocking, a little bit more wobbly side to side. Try your best to keep it nice and still. Exhale, lifting up again. Noticing a little bit more work in the outer hips. Good. 2 more like that. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Woo. Last one. Perfect. Relax everything back down. Bring those knees back towards the ceiling. And then we're going to straighten one leg, bend the other, and take that knee in towards your chest. Roll your ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Good. Taking it back down, switching sides, hugging the left knee into your chest, rolling the ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Perfect. Slide that leg back down. We're going to roll over onto our side here, either supporting your head in your hand or letting your head rest down in your arm. Either way, you want to make sure that you're fully onto your side so that the hips are stacked one on top of the other. Making sure that they are there by taking your top hand to your top hip and feeling what's going on here. So, everything above the waist you want to try to keep relatively frozen. Belly button is lifting up and out of the waist. Thinking about drawing up and almost that sensation of someone giving you a hug. The top leg is now going to lift up at the height of the hip, and I want you to think about someone pulling it away from the center of the body, so seeing if you can reach it 1 inch further and longer. Hold that position there. We're going to start with a kick to the front, inhaling for 2. Exhale, kick it back for 2. With the size of this kick, it's really dependent on what you can control. So if it feels like you're wobbling a lot through the chest and through the shoulders, make that kick a little bit smaller. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. On this next one, beginning that bicycle kick, you're going to bend and extend, lengthen and reach long. Bend, extend. Every time you straighten, think about it pulling further towards that opposite wall. On the next one, reverse directions. Kick straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. Good. From here, hold that leg lifted. We are going to go in for a rotation through the hip socket. So, flexing the foot just a little bit. We're going to point toe up, heel down, and then toe down, heel up. Thinking about just a nice long axis through the middle of the leg that you're spinning on. Good. On this last one, hold here with toe down, heel up. Little pulses up towards the ceiling, leading with your heel for last 3, 2, and 1. Let that bottom leg relax all the way down. Either knee can touch down, or if it's more comfortable, foot flat, grabbing hold of the ankle. We're going to send that bottom leg nice and long and straight. From here, we're going to point up and flex down. Point up, flex down. Seeing if you can lift that leg up an inch higher than you think you can. Checking back in with your core. On this next one, we're going to hold lifted. Hold lifted, and we're just going to slide that foot a few inches behind us along a horizontal line, and then slide it a few inches forward. Good. Exhale to the back, and inhale to the front, squeezing that inner thigh. On this last one, find the middle again. Lift that leg up 1 inch higher and hold here and breathe. Squeezing for 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower that bottom leg. Try not to plop it down. And take that top leg back up and over. Hand comes back to the hip. From here, we're going to take a développé. So top toes come to top knee. Point in, extend up, and flex down. In, up, and down. On this next one, we're going to reverse directions. So straight up to the top, bend in and lower. Making sure that you're trying not to let this top hip roll backwards. On this last one here, we're going to just do a 90-degree press. So knee comes in at the height of the hip, exhale, press down. This one should feel really challenging as we take weight towards the side of the body. On this last one, we're just going to hold in front. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Before we move to the other side, we're going to bend both knees in towards the chest. Let your head relax down on your arm if it's not already. Coming here for our open book stretch. This one really nice if we have been sitting all day. You're going to reach that top arm forward and let it come up towards the ceiling. And then slowly opening the chest only as far as you want to go and you feel your body is comfortable doing. Eyes following that hand. And then back up and over. Top arm reaches forward. Inhaling. Exhale, open. And last one. Perfect. From here, roll over onto your back. Whatever leg was on top is going to cross over into a figure 4 stretch. So ankle over knee, gently pulling in, making sure that you're not straining through your head, neck, and shoulders. And then maybe rocking from side to side, seeing where you get the best stretch. Playing around with it, maybe pressing that opposite knee away. Maybe even just keeping the foot down and rocking from side to side here. Taking one last deep breath. From here, either rolling over onto your other side or doing a nice little 180 to spin to the other side so you can still watch me. Setting ourselves up the exact same way, hips stacked, one on top of the other. And top leg is going to lift up at the height of the hip, engaging the core, keeping everything nice and still in the upper body. From here, inhale to the front for 2. Exhale to the back for 2. Find that length through the leg, helping you to engage your core. Really being very aware of what is stable and what is controlled and what's moving a lot. On this next one, starting to bend and extend. Bicycle kicking forward. This is nice and slow so that we have no momentum here. And reverse directions. Kicking straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. that leg long and straight. Reach it 1 inch further, flexing that foot. Toe down, heel up, and toe up, heel down. Appreciating that different muscles are responsible for each of these positions, the external rotation and the internal rotation. The entire leg is moving, not just the ankle, so kneecap should be pointing up and down. On this last one, hold here with toe down, heel up, little lifts, little pulses. For 3, 2, 1, let that top knee drop down. You can either stay here or tucking that foot under. Lengthening the bottom leg long and straight. Exhale, point up and flex down. Point up, lifting up as high as you can, squeezing that leg at the top. On this last one, hold lifted, sliding along a horizontal line. So a few inches back, squeezing the glute, and a few inches forward. Good. The leg isn't lowering or lifting anymore. It's just going from side to side towards the edges of your mat. On this last one, find the middle again. Lift up an inch higher than you think you can. Hold here and breathe. For 3, 2, 1. Lower slowly, not flopping down. Top leg comes back up and over. Restacking the hips for our développé. Top toes to bottom knee. Extend up and flex down. Check back in with the core, make sure it is still active here. Reversing directions up towards the top, bend down. And last one, finding a parallel position again for our 90-degree press. Bend all the way in, knee just right at the hip. Exhale, press down and long. Inhale in, ankle is right underneath that knee, and long. On this last one, hold here at 90 degrees. Just hover and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Relax everything back down. Bend those knees in towards the chest, locking the hips in place. Head rests down on your arm. Top arm reaches long. Inhaling forward. Exhale, rotate and open. Eyes following your hand. And back up and over, making sure that you are doing what feels right for your body. Maybe that is taking the arm up towards your head. Maybe it's keeping the arm straight. Maybe it's bending the elbow. Maybe it just feels good to hold there and breathe rather than going back up and over. Last one. And restacking here, we're going to roll over onto our backs. Whatever leg was on top is now going to cross over into our figure 4. Maybe you stay here and rock. Maybe you pull in just a little bit, making sure that head, neck, and shoulders stay relaxed. Playing around with that stretch. Finding that sweet spot. Every time you exhale, really just letting those hips melt down towards the floor. From here, lengthen your arms and legs nice and long. Taking a full body stretch as if you're being pulled in two opposite directions, finding that length. From here, we're going to roll right over onto our bellies. Still with that length in the spine. From here, reaching arms and legs long away from the center. And then lifting the belly button up off of her mat as best as you can. Opposite arm and opposite leg are going to reach really long away from the center of the body. And then gently lifting up to a hover. Head comes with you. Lowering back down. Alternating sides, opposite arm, opposite leg, reach. You're reaching so long that you start to hover. Not as much of a focus on that lift up towards the ceiling. Keep switching. Trying to relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Last one. Perfect. Hands come right underneath your chest. We're going to press back into a child's pose. Taking your knees a little bit wider if that feels nice. Reaching your hands long. Resting your forehead down. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Letting your belly relax. Letting your pelvic floor relax. Sometimes we always are focusing on drawing up and in, creating tightness, and it's nice to just do the opposite, let it go, let it relax. From here, slide your shoulders away from your ears. Turn your thumbs up towards the ceiling and widen your hands just a little bit more. Maybe you just hold here. Or maybe you start to just hover one hand and arm off of your mat. Lower back down. Alternating sides, this should feel pretty challenging. You want to feel the work more in your mid-back than your upper shoulders. If it feels like you can't lift up, that's okay. Just try. Last one on each side. Good. Pressing up into hands and knees. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the knees. Let's take a few cat-cows here. Pressing your hands through your mat, rounding your back, looking at your belly button. Tailbone tucks down. And then lifting up. Letting your chest relax down, shoulder blades coming towards the center. A few more just like this. Making sure that this cat-cow is not just focused on the low back, but the upper back as well. Maybe bringing a little bit of movement into your cat-cow, so as you round, maybe you shift your weight a little bit more into your hands. And as you arch back down, maybe shifting your weight a little bit more towards your knees, seeing how this changes what you feel. Last one here. Good. Find that flat back position. So we've now established the rounding and the arching, and try to find right in the middle where your spine is nice and straight. From here, we're going to slowly extend one leg back, sliding it just along your mat for now. And then from here, we're going to do little lifts up. So an inch up, an inch down. Just squeezing through the glutes, not arching the back. On this last one, hold that leg hovering up a few inches off of your mat. And all we're going to do here is just slide it to the left and slide it to the right. Good. Trying not to lower or lift it anymore, but just taking it side to side and being still throughout the rest of your body. Last one here. And let that knee come back down. Opposite leg now reaches long and slides straight along your mat. From here, little lifts up, just a squeeze and release. Still pulling that belly button in really hard. On this last one, hold, lift it, hold that squeeze. Slide side to side. Going only as far as you can with control. If you notice a lot of shifting or rocking, make that slide smaller. Last one. Back to the center, lower the foot, lower the knee. Widen your knees and come back into child's pose. If you need to, rolling out the wrists. Relax your head down. Coming back onto hands and knees, preparing for a few bird dogs here. So taking what we just worked on, that activation through the center, opposite arm and opposite leg are going to slide long along your mat, and then hovering just a little bit, maintaining that same neutral spine. Hold here and just breathe. Find stillness. Head is neutral. And then tapping back down and sliding in. Switching sides, opposite arm, opposite leg. Slide them first long along your mat, still making contact. Find that length and then just hover. Hold and breathe. Notice all those small adjustments that your body is making. Tap it down and slide back in. Switching sides again, same thing, slide and lift. This time, option to bring elbow towards knee, in towards the middle. Exhaling. And inhale, reach back out long. 2 more like that. Exhale, pull in towards the center. Inhale, reach long. Last one. Good. Tap it down, slide it back in. Other side, reach long first. Find that length, hover up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. 2 more. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach. And last one. Good. Hand comes down, knee comes down, back into child's pose. Roll out those wrists if you need. Setting up for a few planks here. Option to come down onto your forearms or stay on your hands. We're going to try, if you're on your forearms, see if you can keep your forearms in parallel as opposed to clasping your hands. Maybe even palms come up towards the ceiling. Our first set will just be a nice hold. So reaching one leg long and then the other. Take your focus to your head, making sure it's not drooping down or sticking up. Think about the back of your neck lengthening long and pressing up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. you feel your form starting to droop or change, take a break. Pressing through your hands or forearms to create a nice opening of the upper back. Slowly coming down, relaxing your hands, relaxing your legs. Our second set here, we're going to come back into that same nice strong plank position, maybe palms up if you're on your forearms. And then from here, all we're going to do is take a nice micro bend with both knees. So, both knees bend a little bit, both knees straighten a little bit. Both knees bend, both straighten. Ask yourself what changes when we bend our knees versus when they're straight. On this last one, hold with legs straight. Maybe point both toes, sliding your body forward, and flex both feet. Point and flex. Last one. Slowly come back down. Relaxing down. From here, we're going to press into a down dog. So, taking your feet a little bit wider and lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Taking a moment to just pedal out those feet. Good. Both feet coming back to a nice position here. We're just going to do a few. We're going to bend the elbows, taking the top of the head towards the middle of the hands, and straighten back out. Two more like that. Bend and straighten. Last one. Good. Slowly lower the knees. Take those legs in front of the body, sweeping them forward. Taking a nice little shake out of the legs. And then folding forward towards your toes. Lowering your head and neck. Maybe shifting from side to side here. Good. From here, start to restack your spine, one on top of the other, and lengthen long through the top of your head. Take your feet about the width of your mat, and then arms out to the side. Sit up as tall as you can. Exhale, we're going to twist. 2, 3, and center. Exhale, twist. 2, 3, and center. Thinking about as if you're wringing out a towel, lengthening as you twist. And fold forward, relaxing the back, relaxing the head. On this next one, same thing, except hands are going to come behind the head. Sit up as tall as you can again. Lengthen through your spine, through the crown of your head. Exhale, twist. 2, 3, and center. Last one here. And relax down. Maybe shifting from side to side if that feels good. Perfect. From here, scoot forward on your mat just a little bit so that the knees bend and the toes point up towards the ceiling. Arms out in front of you. Take a nice round back, a C curve here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. From here, we're going to take a nice march with one leg and then the other. Alternating sides, trying to make this lift coming from the center of the body, from our low abs. On this next one, option to hover both legs up in your boat pose, finding stillness. Nothing fancy here, just noticing all those small muscles activating and working. Option here, little lifts in towards the center. Last 3, 2, 1. Relax down in butterfly. Soles of the feet come together, nose to toes, knees wide. Taking your right arm up towards the ceiling, looking at that hand for a nice twist. And switching sides, left hand up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand. Noticing any differences on either side. On this next one, knees come back up towards the ceiling. This time, hands are going to come into a prayer position right at your chest bone. Lower down a little bit, rounding your back. From here, exhale, twist to one side. Exhale, twist to the other. Keep length through your neck. On this last one, pause on one of the sides, little pulses down. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, twist to the other side. Pause here, little twist down, pulsing. For 3, 2, and 1. Back into butterfly, soles of the feet together, nose to toes. Nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Perfect. From here, crisscrossing and facing the front. Sitting up tall, finding some new length through the spine. See if you can sit up even taller than you did before. From here, we're going to have either hand or elbow down on your mat towards your side, reaching up and over through the other side. From here, top shoulder is going to close down, exhaling, and inhale, open up towards the ceiling. Exhale, top shoulder down. Inhale, lift. Last one. And switching sides. Left hand or left elbow coming down, reaching up and over. Anchoring your opposite hip down on your mat. Exhale, top shoulder rounds forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Last one. Good. Back up to the center. Clasp your hands together. Reach your hands forward and your chest backwards. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Maybe bringing hands from side to side. Seeing how you can deepen that stretch in the upper back. Back to the center. Reach your hands back behind you. Open up the chest and take a nice inhale. And exhale. Sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back. They're going to come up and slide down. Last one. On this last one, Inhale, raise your shoulders up to your ears. I want you to squeeze your eyes, your toes, every muscle that you possibly can. All that tension coming up and in. Exhale, release it down and shake it out. One more like that. Inhale, everything up and in. Think about all that stress and where we hold that tension and just let it go. Awesome, awesome job. Thank you guys so much for joining.